here's what I was talking about with some of the underachieving Bears. You ready?
I am ready.
Like these, and I'm highlighting these three because what's the old line from Spider-Man?
Spin a web anytime.
With great power comes great
responsibility.
Responsibility,
Yeah,
right? You know, when Uncle Ben is waxing poetic to young Peter Parker. You know, and when you are great, when you're an established player in this league, and when you've been paid, a lot is expected out of you. These three players got paid, okay? And I'm not like, this automatically turns into, you haters. It's like, is everything that's gone wrong with these three players precisely and exactly their fault? Have they just gotten fat and lazy? No, I'm not suggesting that.
But their performance doesn't match
it doesn't.
Previous performances.
It doesn't match previous performance. And like Waddle's been saying, now they got what they wanted. They wanted the coach out.
Yeah. They got two coaches
Two of these guys certainly wanted the coach out. 2/3 of the three I'm about to talk about, without any reasonable doubt, wanted the coach gone.
Yes.
Now he's gone. Let's see how you do. DJ Moore is on pace for 939 receiving yards. It would be only the third time in his career that he failed to reach 1,000 yards, Yerk. The other times, his rookie season and 2022, when his quarterbacks were, and I know this is going to sound funny now, but back then, P.J. Walker, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield. And I know the stories around Darnold and Mayfield are better. Those quarterbacks that year were awful.
In that system that they were running there, yes.
His coaches were Matt Rule and Steve Wilkes. Remember, they made a coaching change. He played with three different quarterbacks. And even though Darnold and Mayfield are great stories now, in 2022, that team's quarterback rating was amongst the worst in the NFL. They were terrible. So those are the only other two times it's ever happened. His rookie year and that 22 campaign, and then they traded him, that he's failed to get to 1,000 yards. Also, his yards per target are the lowest of his career right now at 6.9, and his success rate is the second lowest of his career. Now I'm going to go to Jalen Johnson, who got paid. How do you want me to do this? This year's numbers versus last, or last year's?
Last year's numbers versus this year's numbers.
2023. You ready? Yeah. 132 qualified cornerbacks in the NFL at the end of the season. Jalen Johnson, according to PFF, had a coverage grade of 90.4. That was second best in the NFL.
Second best.
Out of 132 cornerbacks.
Yeah.
His quarterback rating against was 33. I'll give you one guess where that ranked. His quarterback rating against was 33. Quarterbacks posted a 33 quarterback rating when Jalen Johnson was in coverage.
That was number one.
That was number one,
Carm.
in the NFL. He allowed 7.8 yards per catch. That was fourth best in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He was second best, and fourth best out of 132 corners.
No relations to Pete Best.
No relations at all. Yeah. You want this year's numbers?
Yes.
118 qualified corners right now. His coverage grade of 64 is 52nd. His quarterback rating against is 80. It's not bad. That's 26th. His 14.1 yards per catch allowed, barely inside the top 100. It ranks 98th.
So it's 52, 26,
and 98th.
And 98.
Versus second, first, and fourth last year.
A little bit of a drop-off. Let's call it what it is.
Montez Sweat got paid.
Oh, yeah, he got paid.
2023 was pretty much a career year for Montez Sweat.
Career year.
He had a career-high 12.5 sacks. He tied a career high with 14 TFLs, and he tied a career high with 3 forced fumbles. He also had 25 quarterback hits, Yerk. That was the second most in a season in his career. His PFF pass rush win rate was 16.7%. That was in the top 50 of the NFL. This year, he's on pace for 6.5 sacks, 10 TFLs, 1.5 forced fumbles, and 13 quarterback hits, or 12 fewer than last year. Now, I'll give him credit. His win percentage this year is actually slightly up. It's 20%. So it's a little bit up from the 16.7% he was at last year. Not only is it a higher raw number, he ranks statistically a little higher than he did last year. He's like fringy top 25. But those are three guys that got paid, and the results have not been the same. Two of those guys, as we mentioned, and I think everybody can figure out who the two are, certainly wanted the head coach fired.
Oh, yes.
You got him fired.
Mm-hmm.
And as Waddle's been saying, this is Tommy Waddle, former Bear, saying it. And you were critical of Jalen for the way he conducted himself in that locker room. You said no need, no room for it. No need, no room for it. But
Right.
he did it.
Yep.
Now let's see how you guys respond.
Right. That's where you're at. That's what you're wagering this week on that.
They will definitely be in my pick five.
When you throw the captain, when you throw the captain overboard, and you throw the first mate overboard like they did with Shane Waldron and with Eberflus, well, at some point somebody's got to get in there and somebody's got to make sure that thing's going to sail in the right direction, right? And that, in essence, is the players. Now let's see what the players do and how the players respond. The one thing I'll give you on Montez Sweat,
playing hurt, I get it.
If you're banged up.
Right, yeah.
You know, if you're playing at 90%, that extra 10% is what makes Montez Sweat special. That's what would make him special. When you're playing at 90%, whatever made you special is not there anymore. Now it's on grit and determination.